So y'all want to make a pork chop sandwich? Hello, welcome back to Montgomery's Kitchen. I'm James Montgomery Anderson, your chef and host, and today we're going to be making some pork chop sandwiches. Been a few weeks since I've been able to record, just due to the store being so busy. Thanks everybody for stopping in. First, you're going to need a pretty decently sized mixing bowl. We're going to start with some coleslaw. Need about a cup and a half of mayonnaise, or I suppose it's just a half a cup. And then we're going to do up some lemon juice. You're going to need a tablespoon and a half. I'm just going to put this right back in the measuring cup I used for the mayonnaise so that we can get some of that used up as well, so we don't leave anything behind. Up next, we're going to need a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. That'll do it. Okay. Always good to be mixing over a large bowl for that reason. And then we're going to need a quarter teaspoon of salt and a half teaspoon of black pepper. That'll add some spice to it, not too much. You could always opt out for some cayenne if you wanted it to be a little bit more spicy. And then lastly, we're going to add 2 big tablespoons of sugar. That's going to sweeten it up a little bit more and be good. Waste not, want not. We're going to get the rest of our mayo out of our measuring cup, and then we're going to give this a good whisk. Make sure everything's blended together rather well. Once you get that mixed thoroughly, I don't have to get too carried away with it because we're going to be mixing in our slaw mix. You can, chop some veggies up for this on your own time. It's just in a pinch, buying a pre-made bag isn't too bad. And I had some already mixed up slaw mix and some raisins and stuff like that, but I'm just using the veggies, and they turned out really good. After tossing this around for a little while, we're going to just put that under refrigeration and mix it periodically. Next, we're going to make honey mustard with some honey and mustard. So I only had a little bit left of some spicy brown mustard. I'm just going to use up the container, and then I'm going to eyeball about the same amount of honey, if I can ever get the mustard out of there. Yep. And then notice the spiral pour. Makes it so it doesn't make an entire mess out of the lid. So that's always the worst. Sticky jars. But mix that up, and then we're going to set that in the cooler as well. Next, we're going to slice an onion, so watch where your hands are and kind of firmly grasp it so it's not rolling away from you. That's how you can get cut. Then we're going to cut off the core, cut the stem portion off, and then we're going to peel. So clean up your other one, kind of cut in at an angle to get rid of that core, get the stem off of it, and then peel it up. It might take you a few minutes, so I sped up this process here. Once you get them peeled up, we're just going to slice them. You can see where the ribs kind of go, or the veins kind of go across. We're actually going to cut across of those so that we get nice round sections, long pieces of onion. And we're going to fry these up later, so don't have to worry too much about breaking them up, and just set them in a dish for until later. Now onto the meat. I got a pack of smoked pork chops here that we tried out at the store this week. Turned out excellent. And we have some bone-in pork chops that we're going to be using for our sandwiches as well. These are fresh. Nothing been done to them yet. The only recipe I could find online for pork chop sandwiches actually suggested that you keep these whole and you cook them whole and then just put them on the sandwich whole. But due to it being a choking hazard and me eating like an animal, I decided we're just going to bone these out just for ease and little informative purposes, educational. But anyway, with a bone and knife, you're going to want to try and follow along that bone. Just if it helps you, you can have the flat part of the bone on the block and just kind of work the meat off of there, or you can just leave it laying flat down and cut away at it. So here again, just taking off the tenderloin portion and the boneless portion, or the loin portion of it. Just kind of when you come straight down through, there's a little bit of a hump, or the curvature of that bone, and then it flattens back out. To season these, we're going to use some Uncle Glenn's blend. And not to mess up Blake's beautiful butcher block, I'm going to have a piece of white butcher paper down. And we're gonna season these pretty heavily, you know, get both sides good, rub it into it. We got the boneless pork loin, and then we have these pieces of pork tenderloin, which I'm really excited about. They're gonna be tasty. So do a little Salt Bay action and kind of rub your meat down some. Make sure to get pretty evenly seasoned both sides. Once you've figured out how to rub your meat, we're gonna get a skillet to about 300 degrees Fahrenheit, add a couple tablespoons of vegetable oil. Once that starts to heat up a little bit, we're just gonna spread that oil around and start throwing in our fresh pork chops that we just seasoned. And then they're gonna sit in here for roughly about 5-6 minutes. You know, they'll start to get a little crispy on the bottom, and then we're gonna flip them over. After our time's passed, we're gonna give these a flip. Oh yeah, nice golden brown, getting crispy, and you could even let them go a little bit longer if you'd like them to get a little crispier. I thought these turned out great, but your opinion's best, you know. So we'll flip these over and let them run for another 5-6 minutes. All right, double checking, seeing both sides looking good. I did the you'll notice one pork tenderloin's missing. That's how I could check the doneness. I just took a bite out of it, or cut it in half first to make sure that it was cooked the whole way through, and then promptly ate the rest of it. Now, once you get your pork chops out of it, we're just going to throw our onions right in the mix. All the oil and all the grease and seasonings from our fresh pork chops. Now we're going to give these a stir until they get nice and soft and caramelized. These two, you could probably let them go a little bit longer, but I couldn't wait any longer. They started to get nice and crispy and soaked up all the flavors. I figured it was time to set them aside. And you want to put these in a covered dish so that they don't get too cold, don't dry out. And lastly, we're gonna put our smoked pork chops into the skillet. Now these don't have to cook very long because they're already technically cooked, so I'm just trying to get a sear on them. I think I have the skillet up to about 400 degrees Fahrenheit at this moment. Let these go for about 5-6 minutes and give them a flip. Oh yeah, we're starting to get some nice crispiness, that real nice brown color that's coming out on them. Oh, this is gonna be good stuff. It's more like some bacon or a nice thick slice of ham that's being cooked. But after about 5 more minutes at 500, we're gonna flip them, check them out. Yep, we got the color we're looking for. We're just gonna set these aside till it's time to plate up our sandwiches on some toasted buns. Shout out to Strauss. Alright, the triumphant return of Montgomery's Kitchen. We're here with some of the craziest sandwiches. Well, it turned out they're kind of crazy because all week I've been saying I'm making pork chop sandwiches, and everybody looked at me like I was nuts. So, I mean, we went all in on these things. We got the caramelized onion. Never made coleslaw before. That looks great. I tried a little bit. It's excellent. Honey mustard. Never done that before. It was great. Other than that, like the smoked pork chops, while supplies last, because I think those are gone already. I managed to snag the last bag before they were out of here. But enough talking. I gotta try this thing out. Wow. Oh my god. There's a lot going on in there. The sweetness from the honey, that cured pork, I mean the coleslaw coming through, the little bit of vinegar, you can taste that, and then the roll, it's super crunchy, it kind of ties it all together. We're going to chow this one down, and then we'll sample the other. I mean, that chop, it's almost like a bacon. I mean, or like a really good piece of ham. It's stupendous. Stupendous. Maybe we'll roll that. This is kind of an experiment. Just because every like cooking show you ever watch, and they take like this the tiniest little nibble and they go, oh my god, it's amazing. And I'm a terrible eater, and you shouldn't talk with your mouth full, but I at least wanted to get like the whole sandwich down before I kind of reviewed it, because like when you get a nibble, you miss some of the best parts. Like it could be in the last bite. I mean, if you watch the pizza review guy, he says one bite, everybody knows the rules, and then proceeds to eat the entire pizza. You know, and that's just not fair, because like you gotta judge it as a whole. But I'll tell you what, I've gotten 3/4 of this down, and I gotta say the smoked pork chop sandwich is pretty killer. I gotta finish it though. I mean, that one was chow. Palate cleanser. Okay, now this is just a straight up pork chop with the Uncle Glenn's blend seasoning that we used up. Lake Cord Blanc. Thank you, that's beautiful craftsmanship. Okay, now we gotta dig into this one. Look at all the onions. They have everything. That's awesome. I was gonna say, I think this is a great return, and you guys definitely need to try these. At least the smoked one. Holy shit. And this one too. Holy hell. That meat, it's so tender. I mean, that's great pork. I mean, if you expect anything from that, so I don't know what you're doing, but man, that is delicious. I think this might even be better. The smoked, it adds such a great flavor to it, just because like it was cured and then kind of like crisped up a little bit in the skillet. But man, this is a whole nother ball game almost. I hate to be that guy and just sit here and eat, but it's all I want to do right now. Alright, we'll wrap it up. We'll save you my embarrassment. Anyway, thanks for watching. Any questions on how you want to prepare this at home yourself, just come see me at Bell's. I'll tell you everything that you need to know. Real easy, real delicious. You can make it at home, 5-10 minutes.
hope you guys are being safe out there, still wearing your masks, you know, social distancing and all that. A lot of tough times ahead of us, and we're going through a lot of difficult times right now, but, excuse me, I hope you're just looking out for your neighbor. Make sure everybody's safe and well, and you know, keep putting a lot of love out there in the world, and we'll get through this. But until next time, I guess, pork chop sandwiches this time. Let me know what you want to see me cook, and I'll get after it. Thanks, guys. Love you. Bon appetit, bitches.